Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 5 new player props to go ahead and share with you guys in today's NBA slate. I do want to go ahead and welcome you all back. It's been a week since my last video. I do apologize for that. Obviously, I let you guys know last Thursday I was going to New Orleans for the weekend. Bourbon Street got the best of me. I've been sick the last couple of days, so unfortunately, I've had to delay my return to making NBA player prop videos for a couple of days now, but I'm back today. Still not feeling great, but the show must go on. So I appreciate your patience during this time. I know I was supposed to come back on Tuesday, so I'm a couple of days late to my return. So I appreciate your patience while I've been absent, but we are back and we got some new player props to share. So let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into today's NBA picks. Can't really afford to waste any time because at any moment I could lose my voice again. I sounded like Doc Rivers for the last couple of days. So gotta be very quick here and efficient with my time before I lose my voice here because I have a couple more videos to record today. So pray for me, guys. Pray for me. Here we go. First player prop in today's video, we are targeting the Magic Hornets game, 7 p.m. tip-off. We only have 4 games in today's slate, but I actually have 3 picks from this Magic Hornets game. I found a lot of good valuable picks in this game. The first one being Paolo Banchero of the Orlando Magic, over 34.5 points plus rebounds, which I'm grabbing for -102 over on DraftKings. As always, guys, make sure to go ahead and shop around for the best sportsbook odds available to you because what's best for me may not be what's best for you. I also want to apologize quickly if I talk a little bit lightly here. I did turn the volume up on mic just in case I can't speak at the volume I normally do due to the fact that, again, I could lose my voice at any minute. So I'm trying to speak a little softer. I'll bring the mic a little closer to my face here so I don't have to raise my voice too much. Can speak a little softly and slowly here. All right, guys, so Paolo over 34.5 points plus rebounds. Looking right at the overall 2025 numbers so far for Paolo, it looks pretty good. 3 of 5 games this year, he's cashed the over. It's a 60% hit rate, averaging 32 points plus rebounds per game this year. Now, you have a couple of really close cashes. His last game just yesterday versus the Pistons, he had 24 and 11. That's a very narrow cash. His first game versus Miami, 24 and 11, very narrow cash. He also has a narrow miss here on October 25th versus the Bulls, where he had 24 points and 10 rebounds, just missed it by 1 point/rebound. So even when he misses, he's been hovering on this line pretty consistently all year long. The only game where he didn't come close was that October 24th game against Atlanta, where he had 11 points and 6 rebounds. Look down below here. He's playing a healthy amount of minutes, averaging about 36 minutes per game. Now, this is the second night of a back-to-back. His first back-to-back, actually his second, back-to-back of the year. You did see the last time he played on the second night of back-to-back, he actually did okay, 24 and 10 versus Chicago. Data looks good. The usage numbers look pretty good. Again, 36 minutes per game. He's taking an average of 17 shots per game. Not shooting the ball the best so far this year, but not terrible. So averaging 12.6 rebound chances per game. Pretty good numbers across the board here for Paolo. From a head-to-head perspective, he played the Hornets twice last year. In their second meeting back on March 25th, he had a very big game, 32 points and 7 rebounds in that one. The first time out, he did miss the mark a little bit with 24 points and 8 rebounds in that one. We do have this insight provided by Outlier here. Paolo has exceeded 34.5 points plus rebounds in 10 of his last 12 games on the road. He's averaging 40.4 points plus rebounds per game over his last 12 road games, that being an 83% hit rate on the road. Now, a lot of those numbers obviously come from last year, but he's 2-0 so far this season, including last night, being on the road. So pretty good numbers. We jump over to the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports. Look at the defense versus position the last 7 games, obviously taking all the numbers so far this year into consideration. The Hornets obviously have some other positions they're weaker against, but that being said, versus power forwards, 10th in points, which again is not bad. They're actually a top 10 defense in terms of points allowed to power forwards, but 21st in rebounds allowed, so it's a good matchup there, and 30th in three-pointers allowed. So it's not the best matchup of all time from a numbers perspective, but it is a decent matchup, and Paolo being the best player on the Magic, I do think that he's going to step up in this game, and he can overcome the defensive matchup. The Hornets aren't that great of a team defensively. Traditionally, over the last couple of years, they have struggled versus the power forward position. Paolo, one of the better young players in the game. I think for him, for -102 at this line, very cashable line, worthy bet for sure. All right, guys, my second pick in today's video, again, sticking with this Magic Hornets game here, I'm going with Colin Sexton over 20.5 points plus rebounds, which I'm grabbing for -122 over on FanDuel. best odds available to me. He's cashed in 3 or 4 games this year, including 3 consecutive games. He's cashed this over. He's averaging 21 points plus rebounds per game this season thus far. Again, small sample size, yes, but pretty good numbers. Averaging 5.7 rebound chances per game. We do not have the rebound chance opportunities from the Heat game from a couple of days ago, so we don't have those to go off of. But he grabs a few boards here and there, 2 versus the Sixers, 2 versus the Wizards, 5 versus Miami. So some good rebounding opportunities. He's playing an average of nearly 27 minutes per game. So he's playing a healthy amount of minutes, taking an average of just shy of 11 shots per game. So the volume is certainly there. He's playing enough minutes. He has his rebound opportunities. He's taking enough shots. From a head-to-head perspective, obviously a different team last year. Colin Sexton on the Jazz last season. But in both matchups versus Orlando last year, he cashed the over in both of those games, averaging 25.5 points plus rebounds per game across those last 2 matchups with Utah. And if we go back to the dashboard over here on GuyBostonSports.com, you see Colin Sexton lines up at the shooting guard position in the Hornets lineup. Orlando defensively a pretty solid team overall, but there's 2 positions they do struggle against defensively. That is the shooting guard position, and that is the small forward position. Small forward is by far the worst. We see versus shooting guards, 25th in the NBA in points allowed to that position, and 29th in rebounds allowed to that position. So pretty good matchup spot there for Sexton. I like to cross-reference these numbers between our dashboard and the outlier screen. And the outlier screen just kind of reiterates the fact this is a bottom 5 team in both points and rebounds allowed to the shooting guard position. So whatever metric you use, the numbers are slightly different, but the moral point being Orlando defensively versus shooting guards, it is definitely a weak spot there. Sexton been playing very well. With Brandon Miller being out, they are going to look to him to probably take more shots, have more opportunities. So I think it's a really good spot overall for Colin Sexton for -122. Pretty decent value. All right, guys, my third pick in today's video, my final pick from this Magic Hornets game, I promise we'll move on to some other games, is Con Newble, the rookie for the Hornets, over 15.5 points plus assists. Now, this one I'm grabbing from -105 over on BetMGM. Again, pretty good value, nearly even odds here. Now, with Con Newble, he's only played 4 games now as a rookie. We have nothing really to go off of. There's no head-to-head data, no last year's data. We only have these 4 games, so it's a very small sample size. He's cashed in 2 of 4 games this year, averaging 18 points plus assists per game this season. The last 2 games in particular, he's had some pretty good performances. 20 points and 2 assists versus Washington, 19 points and 4 assists versus Miami. Pretty good numbers. First and foremost, I kind of teased this already, right? Orlando defense versus position the last 7 games, and obviously we've only played 4 or 5 games this year, but taking into consideration the majority of the games so far this year, Orlando, the weakest point defensively on the court for them is versus small forwards. 30th in points allowed, 29th in rebounds, 23rd in assists, 30th in 3-pointers made or given up, right? So a pretty good defensive matchup. And again, we can go ahead and look at the outlier numbers. They don't paint as nice of a picture. They say it's more of a neutral matchup. But again, they're using different metrics than we are. Our dashboard, which I do trust a healthy amount, says that it's a pretty good matchup. But I do think that the outlier screen takes a little bit more of last year into consideration than we do. Either way, though, whether you're looking at the outlier screen or our dashboard, both numbers indicate it's a pretty good matchup for the most part here. You do look down below. VJ Edgecombe just had 33 points plus assists the last time out. Now, granted, he's a shooting guard. Con Newble, more of a small forward, so that's not really too relevant there. They're showing some shooting guard numbers. There we go. My bad, I had the wrong screen out. But Duncan Robinson, he cashed his line. Azar Thompson, Kelly Oubre had a big game. So look at the last couple of games. You have seen some players have some success here in cashing their overs against the Magic. But the key point here, and the real reason why I like this spot a lot, is some of the injury stuff. Brandon Miller is going to be out again for the Hornets in this spot. And again, small sample size, but those 2 games where he cashed the over, wherein Brandon Miller were not playing. He averaged 22.5 points plus assists. Look down below here at the minutes. He's averaging over 31 minutes per game, taking a lot of shots here. 12 shots against the Wizards, 15 shots versus Miami. But the key one being the threes. I mean, he's taking a healthy amount of threes, and he's shooting the ball pretty well. 5 for 9 from 3 against Washington, 5 for 11 from 3 against Miami. So he's hit at least 5 threes in the last 2 games. Guys, simple math here, 5 times 3. Give you a second here, little Blues Clues here, or Dora, whatever the kids shows where they talk back to you. 5 times 3 is 15. Now, I'm not saying he's going to hit 5 threes again, but obviously the fact that he's taking a high volume of threes, he's hitting them at a pretty high rate. Again, you go back to the dashboard here, they're giving up the most threes in the NBA to small forwards. It's a pretty good matchup spot for Connuple. It's a pretty low line. You're benefiting from the fact that he's a rookie, that he's young. The books are not real sure what to do with him just yet in terms of the lines. So I say take the value. He's looked good the last couple games without Brandon Miller. It's minus 105 or minus 108, depending where you're getting it. It's pretty strong value. And again, he's been playing very well without Brandon Miller in the lineup. It's a good matchup spot. I think Connuple is a pretty good bet here. All right, guys, shifting gears now. I'm sure you guys have heard enough about Warriors. Wow. Spoiler alert, Warriors Bucks is up next, but I meant to say you've heard enough about the Hornets and the Magic up to this point. Real quickly, guys, before we continue on with our next couple picks to close up the video, please comment 10 down below if you're still watching at this point. We just hit the 10-minute mark in today's video. As always, we appreciate those who watch through each and every single video here on the channel. Myself, Evan, Trey, put a lot of hard work in these videos, so when you do stick around and watch through, it really does mean a lot to us. So comment 10 down below. Moving on to our fourth pick in today's video, we've got Warriors at Bucks, 8 p.m. tip-off. And we're going Jimmy Butler here, over 24.5 points plus assists. Now, I'm actually grabbing this for plus 104 over on FanDuel, so pretty good value there. And don't worry, guys, if you miss any of these picks, there will be a pinned comment down below that shows you guys what the plays are. There will also be a link in the description that will say link for the picks to go ahead and follow along. So a lot of ways for you guys to go ahead and follow along if you do miss some of these picks or you want to look at what the odds are and stuff like that. But good numbers here for Jimmy Butler so far this year. 4 of 5 games, he's cashed the over. It's an 80% hit rate so far this year, averaging 26.2 points plus assists per game this year. Pretty good numbers. Pretty good volume stats as well. 32.7 minutes per game this year. That's pretty good. He's averaging a little over 11 shot attempts per game, averaging 8.6 potential assists per game. So a lot of good numbers to support here. He's obviously playing a lot of minutes. He's getting a lot of shots. He is getting a lot of assist opportunities. So pretty good numbers across the board. From a head-to-head perspective, he played the Bucks 3 times last year. He did once as a member of the Miami Heat and twice as a member of the Golden State Warriors. He cashed the over in all 3 games versus Milwaukee last season, averaging 29.33 points plus assists per game across those last 3 matchups with Milwaukee. So pretty good head-to-head numbers here. Again, we jump over to the outlier screen here, defense versus position. You do see the Bucks so far 16th in points per game, 16th in points, to small forwards, 25th in rebounds, 11th in assists. So pretty good defensive matchup there. You look at outlier, they're telling us here it's even better than what we're projecting it to be. They're saying they're giving up 20th in the NBA in terms of points allowed to small forwards, 21st in assists allowed to small forwards. Whatever way you shake it, it looks to be a pretty decent matchup here versus Milwaukee. He had 22 potential assists the last time they played the Bucks. So a lot of opportunities there. We do go down below here, recent performances, and you see a lot of green there, okay? Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Hunter, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Cam Whitmore, Chris Middleton, Corey Kispert. They all cashed their overs when playing the Milwaukee Bucks. So really good numbers here, honestly. Pretty good matchup. Butler, I think you could honestly say is better than, I don't think it's crazy to say, other than maybe Mikal Bridges can have an argument. He's better than every other player on this list. So I think he should definitely cash this line. Good matchup spot, good numbers in general. For plus 104 on FanDuel, definitely worth throwing at least something on. And then our 5th and final pick in today's video, guys, is the Miami Heat at the San Antonio Spurs, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. We got Davion Mitchell of the Miami Heat over 19.5 points, rebounds, assists, which I'm grabbing for minus 125 over on BetMGM. Best odds available to me. So far this year, a mixed bag from a numbers perspective, 50% hit rate this season. He's averaging 20 PRAs per game. He did cash it in the first game and the last game, but those two in between versus Memphis and New York, a little bit more of a struggle bus there for Davion Mitchell. Now, we do have an insight provided by Outlier. Davion Mitchell has exceeded this line of 19.5 PRAs in 5 of his last 6 games on the road, averaging 24.8 PRAs per game across his last 6 road games. Now, obviously, some of those numbers come from last season, but 2 games so far this year fit that data range. Overall, San Antonio, very good defensive team. That's not too crazy to say. Versus point guards, a little bit more of a mixed bag, specifically in the rebound and assist category. You see, Outlier tells us they are bottom half of the league in terms of rebounds and assists per game to opposing point guards. If you go over the dashboard screen, it does tell us here that San Antonio, some really poor numbers here. 29th in terms of rebounds to point guards, 25th in terms of rebounds to point guards, 16th in points to point guards, and 29th, second worst in the NBA in terms of three-pointers allowed to point guards. So they rank pretty low here. You also have the fact that there's a lot of injuries right now for Miami, some key injuries at that. If we go over here to the expected lineup, again, Davion Mitchell right there, starting point guard. You do see Tyler Hero's out. Norman Powell just confirmed a couple minutes ago he is out. And look, we don't have too much to go off of there. We have one game that he played without those guys. Specifically, I put a filter in for Tyler Hero and Norman Powell being out. Obviously, we know Terry Rozier is still out as well. So a lot of guards. Kasparis Chakonis, the rookie, he's also out. So you've got a lot of guards out right now for Miami. Last game out, he did cash the over barely, but still cashed 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists versus Charlotte. He played 29 minutes. Took a healthy amount of shots, just didn't shoot the ball all that well in that game, but I do think it's a good matchup spot. Again, there's a Spurs team that does give up a healthy amount of production to point guards. You've got some good supporting stats for the most part for Davion Mitchell, not great, but solid. And the fact that Miami, they're missing so many guys, somebody's got to score, somebody's got to move the offense and create a flow of offense. I think Davion Mitchell is probably your best bet unless you really trust Powell Larson or Andrew Wiggins to run the offense here. Davion Mitchell is going to get a healthy amount of usage and touches in this game. And I know he's matched up with Stephen Castle, which isn't a great matchup, but the numbers do tell us San Antonio versus point guards, they're not great in a lot of those key metrics, specifically rebounds and assists. So for minus 128, I think it's definitely worth playing this one. All right, guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Tomorrow, we have our first Freaky Friday of the 2025-26 NBA season. I'm giving away a $100 gift card in tomorrow's video if the parlay hits. So make sure you tune into that one and you be ready. I'll give the rules for the contest in the video tomorrow. But first Freaky Friday, we want to start off with a bang here and hit our first 5-leg parlay of the new season. Until tomorrow, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your Thursday. Let's go ahead and make some money.